Hey everyone. So, if you're running any kind of multi-account operation, you know the name of the game is staying under the radar. But what if the one thing you're not paying enough attention to, your network, is actually broadcasting your every move? Today, we are diving deep into a huge blind spot for most operators, the network credibility gap. Let's get right to it. Look, this is probably the single most frustrating question out there. You've done everything by the book, right? You've got your AntiDetectBrowser, your fingerprints are perfect, your cookies are completely separate, and yet, boom, you're still getting those chain restrictions, those dreaded account flags. It feels like you're missing something, and you are, but it's probably not where you think it is. All right, here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to define the core problem, what we're calling the network credibility gap. Then we'll pull back the curtain on exactly how the detection systems are catching you. After that, of course, we'll talk solution, introduce a tool built for this, and finally, show you how to put it all together into a stealth stack that really holds up. Okay, let's start at the 30,000-foot view. The problem isn't your browser. Let me say that again. Your anti-detect browser is likely doing its job just fine. The real weak link, the vulnerability that's getting you flagged, is the massive disconnect between that perfect profile and the network it's running on. That's what we call the network credibility gap. So what does that actually mean? Well, the security systems you're up against have gotten a lot smarter. They're not just looking at your browser profile anymore. They're doing something called cross-layer correlation. They're analyzing the relationship between the profile and the network. And if that pristine browser profile is coming from a network that just doesn't act like a real home internet connection, that's a huge red flag. So how are they actually spotting this? I promise you, it's not some kind of dark magic. It's just math. It's data analysis. And we're about to break down the exact network-level fingerprints that are giving away your entire operation, no matter how good your profiles are. Okay, this is one of the absolute biggest tells: subnet clustering. Think about it this way. Imagine 100 people show up to a party, all claiming they don't know each other, but they all arrived in the same van. You'd immediately know they're one group, right? That's exactly what this is. When all your unique accounts come from the same tiny slice of the internet, you create this glaring mathematical anomaly that just screams single operator. And this right here shows you what that looks like. On one side, you have real residential users. Their traffic is a mess. It's chaotic, scattered across thousands of different networks and internet providers. On the other side, an automated operation. It's clean, it's concentrated, it's unnaturally tidy. And that stark difference is exactly what their algorithms are designed to hunt for. And it's not just the IP address itself, it's about who owns the whole block of IPs. Every network has an owner, an ASN. You've got your big, trusted residential ISPs like Comcast or AT&T. Their ASNs have a super high trust score. But the ASN for a data center or a known commercial proxy provider, yeah, that has a rock-bottom trust score. Using an IP from one of those is like trying to get past security wearing a shirt that says, "I'm not here for good reasons." This one is a little more subtle, but it's incredibly powerful. Think about a real home network. It is never quiet. Someone's streaming Netflix, someone else is scrolling TikTok, there's online shopping, gaming, a constant hum of background noise. If your IP address is only ever used for targeted, high-value actions and none of that messy, normal consumer stuff, it creates a behavioral pattern that just doesn't look human. It's another dead giveaway. Okay, we've spent enough time on the problem. Let's talk about how to fix it. And honestly, it's pretty simple. If the problem is being clustered on low-reputation networks, then the solution is the exact opposite. You need to spread your operation across a massive, diverse, and high-reputation set of residential networks. Now, this is a really critical mindset shift. A lot of people think that a fresh, unused IP is the holy grail, but to a sophisticated security system, an unknown IP with no history is a high-risk IP. Think about it. What you actually want is an IP with a long, boring, documented history of being a normal home internet connection. You want established credibility. So you might be asking, great, where do I get millions of high-reputation residential IPs? Well, this is a problem that tools are now being built specifically to solve. Let's take a look at one of them, FlashProxy, to see how this kind of infrastructure actually works. The entire foundation of this solution really comes down to one thing: scale. We're not talking about a few thousand IPs in a data center. We are talking about a pool of over 100 million real active consumer nodes all around the world. It's this insane scale that makes true, genuine subnet diversity even possible. And here is where the magic really happens. We call it residential DNA. By routing your activity through a real person's home connection, your high-value actions get mixed in with all that organic background noise we talked about before. Your traffic is effectively camouflaged. It becomes indistinguishable from a legitimate user because, well, it's flowing through a legitimate user's connection. Now, for any of this to actually work in the real world, it has to make financial sense. To build up that believable residential DNA, you need your accounts to do things browse, watch videos, act human. At the old proxy prices of, say, $10 per gigabyte, forget about it. You'd go broke. But at 16 cents a gigabyte, well, suddenly warming up your accounts with high data activities isn't just possible, it becomes your secret weapon. Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. This isn't about throwing out your anti-detect browser. Absolutely not. This is about completing your stack, about plugging that massive hole in your defenses. Let's look at how these parts fit together to create a truly stable setup. This right here, this is the winning formula. Step 1, you've got your profile isolation. You're already doing that with tools like AdsPower or GoLogin. Step 2 is the piece you've been missing, network credibility, which you get from a massive residential network like FlashProxy. And when you combine the two, you get this perfect harmony we call signal alignment. Your perfect profile finally matches its perfect, believable network. The results? Rock solid, stable accounts. This quote just sums it all up perfectly. Think of it this way. Profile isolation is like having the world's best disguise. But if your getaway car is a bright yellow school bus with your name on it, the disguise doesn't matter. You need both. You need the perfect disguise and the untraceable getaway car. So I'm just going to leave you with this one question to think about. After everything we've gone through today, take a really honest look at your current stack. Is your network the solid foundation you thought it was? Or is its DNA silently giving away everything you're trying to build? It's time to start thinking beyond the browser.